Why, hello everybody, and welcome to Hardcore Heroes. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good, yeah.
Yep.
Good day at work. I spent the whole afternoon just talking to people in the Discord chat. The director who sits next to me was in London all day, so I just thought, it's Friday. Fuck it.
Yeah, it's Friday. Let's just go
Yeah.
off work, talk about D&D all day. Sweet.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I mean, that seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like we charge by the hour for work or anything like that.
Yeah. So what have you guys been up to in this last week?
I've been watching the International for Dota, playing a little bit of it myself. I'm getting back into it because I don't know, that game is fun.
Yeah.
Like I drop it for a year at a time, and then I'll just come back to it and be like, why did I stop playing again? Aside from that, I ruined my sleep schedule. Finally, I held it for about a week and a half, but I got it ruined by binging One Punch Man last night. Watched that whole thing.
One Punch Man. Never seen it.
I was expecting it to be like action porn when I went into it, but I was pleasantly surprised. It was a nice show and it was really well written.
Oh, it's anime. I don't really do that.
No, I don't blame you at all. Although I will say there was no fan service in that show. Lots of naked people, but they were all dudes, so
that's no good, is it?
Yeah.
I have not done anything this week, but actually, I did get to Diamond 1 in HOTS, so I'm on my way to Masters. Next week, I'll be Masters. But it's my birthday on Monday, and I'm going out tomorrow night with all my friends, and then I'm going to this place called Monkey Forest on Monday. It's just this like forest in the middle of England. It's got shitloads of monkeys in it.
What?
I don't really know how it works. It's not natural, I think. They've been brought there.
Like, are they wild monkeys that have been released and just kind of gone nuts, or is it like a sanctuary where it's all caged in?
No, it's not caged. I don't know. There's all pictures of people just like randomly walking through the trees. So it's like that bit in Planet of the Apes 2 or whatever, the one that they made a couple of years ago. That's what I'm imagining it's going to be like. So that'll be quite cool. Only some of the little monkeys. It's not like chimps that could like fuck you up.
Just little happy spider monkeys, no silverback gorillas running around.
Yeah, that might be dangerous. So yeah, that's quite good. So good weekend coming up for me.
Nice. And you're going to be 29?
28.
28. Okay. Sweet. Well, without further ado then, what happened last week?
Nick, you're pretty close to leveling, right?
Let me do it, yeah. I've watched the VODs as well. Okay. All right, so we started off, we were planning to go and take on Carrick, but we were just having a drink in the half point, as you do. Casually inquired as to what happened to our friend, the fighter and his group that were traveling down the Crystal Run. Turns out that he'd come back to Shirebrook, wounded and half dead, and the only one alive. So we went and tracked him down. One of his eyes had been ripped out. Darth, yeah. One of his eyes had been ripped out. The other one was blind. He was all sorts of fucked up. But Van healed him up and then unblinded his eye. So he's kind of back to fighting fit, really. And we asked him, what happened. So he was traveling down the river. He saw this damsel in distress. Rather foolish of him to really kind of fall for this. A girl tied to a tree. They all get out. The girl turns into some sort of wolf, he says, and kills everyone. Somehow he finds himself back on a boat going back up to Shirebrook. He's not really sure what happened. And that's where he was found. But he also reveals that the spell book that his wizard friend had belonged to a great sorcerer called Joris, the Gastromancer. And it was lost in the battle. So take it upon ourselves to go and recover this fine gentleman's spell book. And we commandeered a boat, took Darth with us, got a woman called Rhonda to sail the boat and guide us, and we headed off down the Crystal Run. Encountered a few groups of goblins and lizard men and whatever on the way. Found the place where they were attacked. Followed some trails of drag marks. Found a dead rogue, which was his friend. And then stumbled upon a cabin and a shady-looking guy. Claimed he was from Shirebrook. Turned out to be a werewolf. Killed him. And then they said that there was a whole tribe of werewolves out there, which we weren't really sure whether we believed it or not. We sort of stayed over in the cabin. There was a few hairy moments with another werewolf, but it basically all culminated to about 12 of them showing up and surrounding us, and Van having to talk our way out of just being eaten alive. They wanted to trade Rhonda for the spellbook, which was the guide, which I was all for, but Van wouldn't let me do it. So we had to let that go. You know, they let us leave because they didn't want to risk us killing a few of them on the way down. But then we had the great idea to follow their tracks, and Darth offered that if I turned him invisible, he'd sneak into the cave and try and steal a spellbook. So that's what happened. We ended up fleeing for our lives as the werewolves chased us down the hill back towards the river. We were invisible, but they've got a good sense of smell. Barely made it back with our lives. While this was going on, Van got attacked by lizard men on the river, almost drowned because he sunk to the bottom in his plate mail. Luckily, the dog saved his life.
Okay, nothing about how I heroically did like a 100-meter sprint underwater.
Yeah, I'm missing out those bits. Eventually, everyone is safe. We get back to the boat with the spellbook, thanks to Darth, and we sail back on up the Crystal Run through the night towards Shirebrook. There's a few more encounters with goblins and stuff along the river, but we got through all right and found ourselves back in Shirebrook, where I open up the spellbook to learn that I don't know. There's a couple of spells in there. It's all right. We won't say too much about that.
Yeah. How far off are we from the full moon, Neil?
You are. Very good question.
Ah, yeah. Bear got attacked by one of the lycanthropes.
Yeah, so did Darth. And I feel like might just I've got remove curses. I can always help him out, but we should probably chain him up just to be safe.
Oh yeah, because he was attacked last time, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Let's see.
And for the chat, Darth is like imbalanced right now. His stats. Somebody posted them in the thread.
Yeah. We're not supposed to watch the Hardcore Heroes planning, I assume, right?
Yeah, probably better if you don't. It's
Yeah.
slightly filled with spoilers everywhere. Oh, you guys are still in June. Oh, okay, that's why my calendar is not matching up with your calendar. Let's see, the last full moon was on the 20th. You guys are on the 29th right now. So the new moon is coming up in July. The new moon's on the 4th, and the full moon's going to be on the 19th.
Okay.
So you guys are, like, many weeks out. Almost a month out.
So, yeah, just let us know when that's coming up then, and we'll broach the subject with Darth at some point.
Okay.
Tell them we've got to chain him up.
It's just for one night. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you guys are going to have to actually remember to keep track of the full moon stuff, because I will forget about that. Like, straight up, as a DM, I will forget to remind you that the new moon is coming. Or full moon is coming, so...
Okay.
You guys are going to have to be on top of that.
You said July the 19th?
Yes, July 19, full moon.
You'll forget, Neil, right until it actually happens, and then you'll remember just in time for Darth to turn into a werewolf and kill us.
Yeah, probably.
So, I think we've been hanging around town for... definitely went to sleep that night. The next day, Neil, hanging around. Did we heard any rumors or anything like that in town?
Well, I posted some rumors in Discord chat. If you'd read Discord chat, Nick.
Whoa.
That has...
When?
August
right
5th.
before I started the call.
Yeah. The few sentences prior to the Zoom link.
Right. You posted them 10 minutes ago then. I don't... Oh, okay, here we go, yeah. We could kill a Hydra, Van, do you think?
Probably, but I feel like we're going after Carrick, right? Like, we're never going to kill Carrick if we're like, yeah, let's take out Carrick this week, and then, but what about what happened around Shirebrook?
I'm a little bit nervous of fighting with them, though.
Same.
So I guess we're sitting in the half pint like usual. And I say, Van, have you heard about the caravans stopping between Thornwood and Shirebrook? I would have thought since we cleared out the goblins in the Ashlands, then would have been, free riding for all the caravans that want to go.
Has something been happening?
Yeah, I heard that no caravans are traveling between Thornwood and Shirebrook anymore.
They've just all given up on it.
So I hear, yeah. Maybe we could ask around about that.
Sure, that seems a bit strange.
Although I did hear someone say that there was Hydra footprints around the Black Pine Marsh, so I suppose, that might put you off.
First it's chimeras, then it's hydras. When does that end, Malachi?
I don't know. There's worse things out there than a Hydra. I think the Chimera would have been worse.
Probably.
But we're just putting it off, aren't we? We need to go and get you that scimitar.
I don't suppose we can show our faces in Anvil again. How do you suppose we enter?
Well, I've got an idea. Remember when I was hanging out with Aldrich a little bit in the keep and learning some of his spells? Well, I didn't get a chance to learn this one, but he's got a spell basically that you inscribe some magical runes on a piece of paper, and whoever reads it, it just blows up and basically kills them. So I'm thinking, maybe I'll go and speak to Aldrich, see if I can learn this spell off him, and then we can send old Carrick here a message. We can travel with the messenger. We can just perch out in one of the villages, wait to see an explosion, and then we'll know he's dead.
That could do it. The only issue is we might want to camp out outside of Anvil at that point.
Yeah.
So we can swiftly move in and take out all of his second in commands.
Well, I figured that we just stay in, maybe not the same one as last time, but just another one of those outside villages.
Sure.
We can just hop off the boat before we get to Anvil proper. So I'll tell you what, I'll go and do that. Go and speak to Aldrich and see if he'll lend me his spellbook. I suppose I've got some more bargaining since we recovered Joris's spellbook the other day.
Sure. I will stay here and consult my vast reservoirs of knowledge to see if I have any spells that might be useful in this quest.
We'll see if maybe you can find out what's going on the road, if it is just the Hydra that people are scared of.
Sure,
well.
I'll do that too.
All right, well, I'll catch you tonight. And then I'll go off, Neil, in search of the keep.
The Shirebrook Keep is within Shirebrook Town, and it's nice and easy for you to find. You go there in the day, evening, afternoon?
I think it's maybe it's at midday at the moment, so I'll just go now.
All right. You head over to the keep and are stopped at the wall. The the gatekeeper looks down at you from atop the gate and calls to you, "What's your business here?"
Hey, I was hoping to speak with Aldrich. I'm a wizard.
Yes. About what?
Magical research.
Stops and just kind of looks down at you for a little while. Is Aldrich expecting you?
He is not. Could you perhaps speak to him for me? Tell him it's to do with Carrick in Anvil.
Perhaps you'd better come in. He opens the door for you, and you enter the keep. At least the main grounds. The gatekeeper is Kel James Valmont, the younger brother of the Baroness. He's a little bit on the short side, and doesn't really have much of a social life. He's rumored to have been kicked in the head by a horse when he was very young, and now he's kind of flat like a board.
All right, that's awful.
He's not stupid. He just is kind of like a damp rag, you know?
Yeah. So, is he a lord or is he a knight?
He's a knight.
Kel Valmont, thank you.
He motions to the keep, where a servant comes running at his command, at his wave. And as the servant arrives, he says, "Take this man to see Aldrich, please."
Thank you.
You are whisked away to Aldrich's room in the back corner of the keep, where he's got his little tower attached.
It's an observatory.
Yeah, well, the observatory is the top floor of the tower, but...
Yeah. All right, am I outside a door?
Yes, you are. The servant waits with you while he knocks on the door and After a good 10 minutes of waiting, which the servant assures you is normal, Aldrich is not very quick to respond to things. Eventually the door opens and Aldrich stands there. The older gentleman of average height and scrawny weight looks you up and down and goes, Malachi.
I have a beaming smile. Aldrich! Great to see you.
Yes. What's this all about, he says, without inviting you in.
I've got something that may be of interest to you. You ever heard of a wizard called Joris the Gastromancer?
Yes, of course.
Well, I may or may not be in possession of his spellbook.
What? He starts looking around the hallway. Come in quickly. And slams the door in the servant's face.
I thought that might get your attention.
Speak up, man.
Some kid in the Half Pint turned up with a group of friends. One of them was calling himself a wizard. They headed down the Crystal Run and basically got themselves almost killed. But this guy, he used to live with Joris and stole his spellbook. So I headed down the Crystal Run, pried out the grasp of a few werewolves, but here it is. I take it out of my back. If he goes to grab for it, I pull it back and say, well, maybe you could do something for me.
He gives you a wary look. Is Joris dead?
I don't think so. I intend to return this to him once we've both made use of it.
That's not very moral there, Mr. Malachi.
Well, if it wasn't for me, it would be lost forever. I think it's the least he could do. I was not the one who stole it from him.
What's the catch?
Well, you remember a few weeks ago when we traded some spells?
Yes.
Well, there was a couple more points of interest in your spellbook that I'd like to revisit. Really, it's for the benefit of all of us. You know this usurper in Anvil calls himself Carrick. Well, I was thinking maybe we could make use of an explosive rune spell. I think if he were to die, then his hold on that place would probably crumble. Me and my cleric friend would be happy to go and clean up the pieces.
That's exactly the sort of thinking I would expect from a young man like you who has no experience in the world.
Go on then. Tell me why.
It's about reliability, honesty, and trust. You start sending explosive ruins to people, you start sending death letters to people, and no one will ever trust you again. No one will open your piece of mail, even if you send it to an enemy. As soon as word gets out that you send death letters, no one will read your messages, and you will be outcast from society. These explosive runes are wards to protect your own belongings. You think too narrowly.
You seem to have, I seem to have touched the nerve here.
Rohanna is a terrible instructor, and you are a terrible student if you did not pick these up.
Look, this Carrick has very little honor of his own, wouldn't you say? Surely when dealing with monsters, sometimes you may have to be a bit monstrous yourself.
You lower yourself to their level, you are no better than them.
I think beheading a baron and murdering his entire family is slightly lower.
You send this letter, no one will ever trust you again. Ever. It is a cowardly way to fight.
Well, could I see the spell?
I don't particularly feel like handing you that spell after this conversation. But,
well,
perhaps we could make another trade.
There we go. Put yourself above your morals for once.
Pauses and long look at you at that. I would be very eager to return this book to its owner. I'm
Yes.
sure he is missing it something dearly.
Well, the man who stole it, he's still alive. In fact, he's doing quite well. I think he intends to accompany us. And I don't know where this Joris guy lives. I never asked him, but I can't be too far. Do you know where he lives?
According to legend, he lives up in Copperhill.
Copperhill. How far is that?
Many days. It's northeast of the capital.
Well, I was thinking that I might want to go and see that at some point as well. Maybe once I've dealt with Carrick one way or another.
Well, let's be quite honest and blunt here, Malachi. You should leave this book here, because if you go off and die trying to fight Carrick, then Carrick has gained a very powerful book. It's not something I would recommend you taking into the wilds with you.
So let me get this straight. I head down the Crystal Run. I sacrifice my life fighting off countless werewolves, lizard men, goblins, all sorts of shit. You sit up here in your quite literal high tower, and now you expect me to leave this book with you.
I'm saying if you want to go and continue risking your life on your little adventures, that you should be responsible and leave the powerful artifacts at home where they will not fall into the hands of your enemy. All I'm asking for is a little common sense.
Tell you what, let me take another look at your spell, but we'll spend a few days studying together, and maybe you could talk me around. I've got no interest in handing this book to Carrick any more than you do. I don't think I'm going to die doing it, but I suppose for the days lost on the road studying, I could. It's not too much to give up. We're all in this together, Aldrich.
Oh? What are we
There's
in together?
This town, Shirebrook, I don't do this for my own benefit, it's for everyone.
Oh, really? You don't do all this carrying on and cavorting for your own benefit? You're a savior of the people, which is why you treat everyone so nicely.
A selfless man, indeed. Well, I just have disdain for those who do not put themselves out as I do. The Baroness's daughter would be still locked away if it were not for me. There would be a chimera traveling around eating horses and killing villagers if it were not for me. This spellbook would still be lost if it were not for me. Tell me, Aldrich, what have you done that makes you so important to the people?
It's the victories we don't brag about that are the most important.
I'm not bragging. I'm merely defending myself.
I killed a chimera. I risked my life to go get this book. Right. You're not bragging at all.
I'm just defending myself from your accusations.
Now,
Go
are we
on.
here to make a trade or not? There are a few spells I might open up to you. A few select ones that will help further your education. Because you are not completely wrong here. You have done a great many things for us. But I think you need to learn some temperance. Nothing quite so aggressive as explosive runes.
Tell me, what do you have in mind?
Dispel magic and tongues. Are you familiar with these spells? They should be about your level now.
I'm afraid wait, out of character. I think I might have failed to learn Dispel Magic.
I have Dispel Magic.
Oh, so I didn't take it. Alright. Tongues, that allows me to speak other languages, communicate with monsters and such, right?
Yes. It enables you to speak with, to be understood by all creatures within hearing distance.
It's an important spell, but time is of the essence in dealing with Carrick, and I was hoping to spend these days learning something that may help me defeat him, rather than... I'd be grateful to study under you, Aldrich, but perhaps once the deed is done.
You're missing the point. Spells like tongues and dispel magic will help you defeat him, but not through use of force. There are other, more peaceful more subtle ways of defeating your opponent.
Pray tell, how would I use tongues to defeat this man?
Well, I'm not suggesting that this spell is perfect for this individual use. Ugh, you're such a novice. Being able to communicate is the key to all victories. Who does
Yes.
Aldrich have working for him? Monsters? Humans? Halflings? Gnomes? Orcs? If
He
you
did
can
have
speak
some
with
goblins.
them, you can work with them.
I already killed them.
Is violence the answer to all of your problems? You are a hammer, and all you see are nails.
I'm much more than a hammer. But I take your point. Let's,
Here. How about Scare? That is a spell that can
that is-
defeat armies without shedding blood.
It's a good spell, Aldrich. I picked it up the last time I was here.
Wise man.
Yes. But Dispel Magic, I think, could be of use. I don't want to spend too many days. I would like to set out looking for Carrick sooner rather than later. Here, you're welcome to see Joris's spellbook.
Oh, I will not be having a look at its insides. That would be wrong.
Okay. Then would you like to see mine?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'll hand him my spellbook.
He opens his spellbook to the Dispel Magic page specifically as he browses through yours.
This guy, so superior. Alright. I assume he's going to want Fireball now. Maybe not. Actually, if he tries to take Fireball, I'll say something about it. Maybe you'd be interested in Slow, Aldrich. It served me quite well and is not so destructive.
Have you been practicing upon yourself?
Unbelievable. People call me disagreeable. But the more wizards I speak to, I just think it comes with the territory.
I like how Sean has been trying not to say anything this whole time.
I am having the time of my life over here.
Have room for any of these?
What's his intelligence now?
I'll never tell.
Okay.
A conjurer. What is he barred from? Maybe that's why he doesn't have that spell. I think that's why he's missing something.
Being a specialist mage is great for the extra spells per day, but it just annoys me having to give up cool spells.
I mean, it's not so bad as long as you don't go diviner or whatever it is that loses you evocation.
Yeah. Still though, I mean, some of it is quite bad.
Conjuring is greater divination and evocation that you are barred from. Enchanter bars evocation. Illusionist bars evocation. Oh.
Fireball.
Could get. All right. He taps on your invisibility spell page and goes, "This."
This is one of my best spells, Aldrich. Yes.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Excellent. And so you guys will have to spend 3 to 6 days in study together.
Mm-hmm. In the evenings, I'll go and hang out with Van.
Van, in the meantime, what are you doing?
So for the first day, I will take Malachi's advice and go around and ask about how there's no caravans traveling along the road to Thornwood.
Yes, that is the truth. After these Hydra prints were spotted, the road is closed. Not forcibly closed, but no one's traveling along the road right now.
Okay. So there was no Hydra attack, people just saw footprints?
Writing something down here. No, there were Hydra footprints.
Okay.
Nick, what is your chance to learn spell?
75.
Okay, so I'm gonna get some information about hydras. I'll go around to, I don't know, just all sorts of different places around town. Like get rumors and just try and get as much knowledge about hydras as I can. Innkeeps, alchemists, wizards, anyone I can find really. I want to find like where hydras tend to stay. Like, would they stay underwater? Would they just stay above ground in the swamp? And then how would you kill one? Like, are they difficult to kill? Because I don't remember if this is like 3rd edition, where they're a pain in the ass to actually kill.
There are many different types of hydras with varying difficulties of killing.
Great.
Let's see what type of hydra it is in this swamp.
Okay.
Opening my book and my encounter table. Do. In this swamp, it is rumored to be a Lernian hydra. Lernian hydra? Maybe I've been pronouncing this wrong my whole life. A Lernian hydra. These are some of the more dangerous versions available. Although similar to a normal hydra, a Lernian hydra will regenerate 2 heads for every one that is severed.
Oh shit.
Okay, so how do you kill it?
Fire. If you can burn the spot where you've lopped off a head, it will stop a new head from regrowing.
Oh, I really wanted to delay Carrick another session now so I can use Flame Blade again. Okay, so if you burn in the wound, it won't regrow.
Right.
Are they like venomous? Are they...
They are not venomous. They just have a lot of heads.
How many heads typically? Like, what's their usual head count?
I mean, hydras have 5 to 12 heads, generally speaking.
All right. And they get 1 attack for every... Fuck.
Every head. Also, their body is known to be incredibly thick hide. It's almost worthless attacking their body. You pretty much can only go for their heads or their necks.
Which isn't... Yeah. Okay.
Would slow affect the whole Hydra Neil or just 1 head? Or will you not say?
I think that's something you'll have to speculate.
I shouldn't have given you the idea.
Shit. This sounds like it could get us killed, but this also sounds really fun. What else is in the swamp?
Let's see. There are leeches. Living plants that will hunt you down and rip you apart. Giant slugs. All sorts of poisonous snakes and spiders. Massive mosquitoes that will drain your life. Sturges is what they're called. There's a rumor of will-o-wisps, but that has been kind of semi-debunked as people just making shit up. It's probably swamp gas.
Okay.
There's also strange little mold men cruising about, and on the non-dangerous, non-evil side, there are sprites that live in the swamp, kind of in the trees and bogs, do their best to survive there.
Okay. God, why does anybody ever leave town in this world?
Yeah.
They don't. They live in town all the time.
Okay. That's all noted. All right, I guess I will hold on to that information for the first time I meet up with Malachi, and we'll kind of figure out what we want to do. Which I guess is in the evening. You're going to stop studying with Aldrich on evening?
Yeah, I'll study with him that day and then head back to the bar that night. So we'll meet up.
Okay.
Fun. Hey, interesting day. Aldrich, he wouldn't give me the spell I want. He wouldn't give us that spell. Said something about me being a hammer, everything being a nail. I told him I don't really do close combat. I'm more of a ranged wizard. But he's trying to teach me dispel magic. It's going to be a few days, I think. What have you been up to?
I went around asking about how nobody was traveling the road, and apparently it is because of the Hydra footprints that were spotted. It is likely a Linean Hydra. They're dangerous. We need to kill it with fire, otherwise its heads will simply regenerate every time we hit it. And the swamp itself is also full of deadly shit, like leeches, living plants, giant slugs, poisonous snakes and spiders, massive mosquitoes that are apparently called sturges, probably not will-o-wisps. There's something called mold men, which sound hilarious, and there's sprites. Sounds like a lovely place.
I assume this Hydra's been there for a while, but it's coming out towards the road. I mean, we might be able to find it without
going too deep in.
Yeah. But, maybe you should ask about Tyrus Bellows. I mean, he went missing in the Black Pine Marsh, and now all of a sudden there's a Hydra.
Sure, I'll do that tomorrow. Also, I'm going to ask, that's a good idea. I'll ask about bait that we could use to lure it out of the swamp. What would a Hydra eat?
It's a good idea.
You continue your studies, Malachi. I understand it's a slow process for wizards.
Yeah, it's one of them things, like once it clicks, but it doesn't, you never know how long it's going to take. All right, well,
I don't suppose we can't delay Carrick forever, but I am rather interested by this Hydra.
I wouldn't mind delaying for a bit longer myself anyway. I feel like I'm on the verge of a breakthrough, and if I can just get to that point, I'd feel more able to deal with him.
Sure. Perhaps we'll think of a better plan, something a little bit less rushed if we give it a bit more time.
Yeah. Well, pint, is it?
Sure.
All right. I'll go to the bar.
Okay. We can just skip through that day unless there's anything specific you'd like to do.
No. So just the next day I'll go out and I want to get some new information, but we can also, I guess Nick is just studying at this point.
I do want to have a couple of conversations with Aldrich though, if we're going to be hanging out. I want to ask him about something.
Sure. Why don't you start it off?
Okay. So maybe we're sitting there in his observatory, flicking through, or doing formulas and stuff. And I'll look up and I'll put my quill down. So Aldrich, I heard about Tyrus in the Black Pine Marsh. Me and Van were thinking of looking into these Hydra footprints that have been around there.
Van?
Oh, it's the cleric that I hang out with.
Oh, right.
There's no need to look like that. He's a nice guy. He's much nicer than me or you.
I find that easy to believe.
I chuckle. Yes. But yeah, apparently...
Also an R.
Yeah, there's probably some truth to that. It's easy to make the good decision when you don't understand truly what you're giving up. But yeah, did you hear about this Hydra?
Yes, there has been a Hydra in the Black Pine Marsh for many, many years now. As long as I have been around.
Anyone ever seen it?
No one had ever seen it. How would anyone know it existed?
Footprints?
Maybe. It has been counted for on multiple occasions.
I don't know too much about Hydras. Do you know how many heads it has? Does it grow more?
Supposedly.
It does grow more, so we don't know.
He nods.
Do you have any
brutish type?
Yeah.
Should grow 2 heads for every one removed, which leads me to believe you would have 12 heads, as that is the known maximum number of heads a Hydra has ever been seen with, unless this is some sort of freakish mutant Hydra with more.
Well, if it starts with a number less than 12, if no one had taken off one of its heads, then it may still have less than 12.
That is very true.
Do you think it fights with much in the swamps? Surely it's the top of the food chain.
I am quite positive it is the apex predator.
Yeah.
But as you said, Tyrus has been seen going to the swamp before. The two may have tangled and gone their ways separately and peaceably. And more brash young women have spent their lives in the swamp. And I do mean spent as in extinguished.
Yes. Tyrus, though, did you ask him about do you speak to him often, or?
Rarely.
All right. Any reason? You don't get on?
I'm not the sort of man that gets along with people. I have more important work to be done than this chatting about our lives. Waste of breath.
I suppose it's quite unusual then that we are such good friends.
That your attempt at a joke? Do not have time for humor.
All right. Well, I'll go and speak to Tyrus myself. Do you know what he was doing down there?
He deadpans you with a look and then goes back to the book.
Right then. Head down.
Meanwhile, Van Helsing, what are you doing today?
So first, I'm going to ask around. I want to, same people that gave me the information about the Hydra from yesterday, I want to ask them about what they eat and if there's any kind of food that they're particularly attracted to. Like if there's a type of food that Hydras will just go nuts over.
Everyone has their own opinion on what Hydras go nuts over.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say it's people. Some say it's dogs. Supposedly there's a rare type of mushroom that they really like, and that's why there's a Hydra in the swamp, because it likes the mold men, because they're that type of mushroom.
Okay.
But really, you get the impression after talking to maybe 8 people that nobody knows, and everyone's like making up their own stories about what they think a Hydra might like.
Okay.
There's no zoologist in town.
Going in a different direction, then I'm going to take that one bit about how they do tend to aggregate towards swamps, right?
Definitely. They're swampy creatures.
All right. So I'm going to ask around about possible scents they might be attracted to, smells.
While you're hearing about this, you notice a crowd gathering over by one of the bars outside of the main town square. Everyone seems to be eagerly listening to something, and a large crowd is beginning to grow.
I guess I'll get distracted. I mean, I've got all day and a few more with Malachi studying. I'll go see what's up.
There is a group of sailors that have just come in from trip down from Redport, and they are talking about how a naval blockade has been set up around Anvil.
Oh.
Yes.
So the Redport has blockaded the Anvil port to block all trade?
No, not Redport has blocked it. Whoops, that's not the right program. The ships are flying sails from Heatstroke and Weatherlight, both of them. This ship just happened to be coming from Redport.
Okay. So Anvil is being blockaded.
There's a naval blockade set up around it.
Okay.
And sailors are, answering questions and talking about it and spreading the news.
All right. That's interesting. But I feel like that's a tomorrow problem. So I want to go back to the idea. I want to think about like some sort of scent that they might be attracted to, and then, if possible, I'll look for like the general like mold men are made out of mushrooms, right?
That's what one person has said.
Okay, so I want to talk to an alchemist about this then, because basically what I want to get an idea of what kind of scent a Hydra might be attracted to, and then I want to go to an alchemist and try to create the most potent smelling potion that he can. That would just like carry a scent for miles that would hopefully attract this Hydra.
Unfortunately, there is no alchemist in Shirebrook.
Really? Apothecary? Nothing like that?
Closest you could get would be Rohana or Aldrich.
I guess I could try Rohana. Is there a town nearby that we could go to for that?
Let me look at my notes for nearby towns. not in Thornwood, not in Misty Rapids. It doesn't look like there are any alchemists nearby. You can probably find one in Stromheim, which is the capital.
Okay.
And that's probably the closest alchemist. Redport might have one as well. And if you went over to Matava, you could probably find one there.
All right.
Capital.
I have a spell. I'm trying to find it. It's supposedly similar to Idea, but a little bit stronger, and I was going to hopefully cast it, but I can't find it in the spell list. You should jump back to Malachi for a minute here, because I'm going to look for a spell that might actually help me out here.
Malachi, you are looking for Tyrus?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I finish up for the day, having had enough of Aldrich. I say, do you know what, Aldrich? I'll see you tomorrow.
Very well.
All right, I'll go looking for Tyrus Bellows.
All right, you find him, feet kicked up on a desk in his little sheriff station, sipping a glass of wine.
Tyrus, finally. I've been trying to get hold of you for. I was here the other day looking for you. I spoke to one of your underlings. He was most unpleasant, actually.
Well,
hey, whatever.
Overworked, underpaid. What do you expect?
Yeah, no, I understand. So, well, you know the Hydra in the Black Pine Marsh?
I know of it.
Well, I was thinking I might go and kill it.
Good luck.
I figured, though, considering you were spending quite a bit of time out there, if maybe you'd seen it recently.
I have not seen the Hydra recently.
Seen it ever?
Once.
How many heads did it have?
At least 10. I didn't get a full count.
Mm.
I saw it from a distance and took off.
No, it's probably pretty smart.
Mm-hmm.
You spent a lot of time out there in the marsh?
I have my own private business that I do not share with others.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes sense. Got a gal out there, have you?
I keep my girl in the marsh. That's right. Built her little hut in the swamp, days away from town, so no one else can find her and see her.
Takes all sorts of different folks, Tyrus. Ain't no need to be like that. So, don't suppose you fancy another trip? Help us kill this Hydra.
I put that life behind me a long time ago. I like to sit back in a nice, quiet town, enjoy a good mug of ale or a glass of wine. This one's not that great. And, I'm content to watch the grass grow.
Yeah? Sword like that, armor like that, you don't look like a man of no action.
We all have our history.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But I'm done with that chapter of my life.
Oh.
These are simple tokens to remind me of the past and to
Well, if you're
keep me
if
focused
you're
on peaceful life.
if you're not using them, you know, my friend the cleric, could probably use a sword like that. I tell you what, I'll trade you this candle. Look, let me show you. Look, click your fingers. Touch it and click your fingers.
Wow.
See?
Hey, look at that. That's pretty cool. Where'd you get that?
I traded for it in Redport. What do you say? Candle for the sword.
No. But that's an amusing offer.
Hey, well, can't blame me for trying. Take my candle back. Okay, well, what about the other stuff in the swamp? I mean, if you go there every now and again, is it safe? Well, I know it's not safe, but
What are you asking?
what kind of precautions should I take not to get?
Don't go to the swamp.
Yeah. What about the Hydra though? You heard there's no trade between Thornwood and Shybrook. How long can that last?
Well, the way I see it, eventually some young buck will get in their head that they're going to go off and clear the way. And they'll march up to Thornwood, or they'll march down to Shirebrook and find the road's actually quite clear. And everyone's freaking out over a couple of prints. And you know, sometimes the Hydra walks out of the swamp. It's a danger. I'm sure it's killed people before, and it just was attributed to goblins or bandits or some other nonsense. Life's life, you know?
That's pretty wise, Tyrus. You maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
You know,
What
the
else
world
is going
needs
on?
young, foolish people to go and show all the scaredy cats what's right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, what else is going on in town?
Thomas is in jail again for being drunk at 3 in the afternoon.
I didn't realize that was a
You
crime.
have kids. And I hear some young kid washed up on shore down the river.
Yeah, no, we actually sort of saved his life. He was blinded and all fucked up, but my cleric friend sorted his eyes out, and then we went back down the Crystal Run and killed some werewolves. And long story, but
Oh, good for your cleric friend for helping a man in need. It's an admirable fella.
it's quite literally his
Werewolf
job.
killing is hard work, though.
Yeah.
You sure you actually got them? You know they can't be hurt by steel or bronze.
No. I set them all ablaze.
Ah.
Glorious bonfire.
You learn that fireball spell yet? Not the little roly one. I mean the big explodey one.
Oh yeah, the big explodey one. That's
yeah.
right.
I had a friend who had that once.
Ah, it's a good one. I've made good use of it.
Yeah. Do doozy on werewolves, I bet.
Yeah, they don't like it. You see, they're pretty. Truth be told, I think they're quite fearful. Once you hit them with something that can actually hurt them, tail
yeah.
between their legs.
Absolutely. I mean, imagine you can walk around all day and people stab you and it doesn't hurt. Doesn't even phase you. And then all of a sudden someone stabs you for real. It's probably the first time you've ever been stabbed in your life. Gotta scare the shit out of you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh.
So that was fun. I was thinking about going to deal with that Carrick fellow as well. Have you got any wisdom on this guy?
There's already a naval blockade set up around Anvil. You're too late.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who's blockading him?
Apparently Count Vicious sent his ships around.
Is Anvil in his territory?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's probably about time he did something about it.
Right. Yeah, world's looking pretty good.
The Carrick guy's not stupid though. I think if he sees an army coming for him, he's gonna try and escape.
He sacked a city in a kingdom. Well, not sacked, but conquered one town
Mm-hmm.
in Eridon. With what? But he's gonna hold it? People are gonna recognize him as the rightful ruler? I think that Carrick guy is stupid. You should have kept to his banditing.
Sure. No, I mean, yeah, you're right.
I mean, he was the biggest fish in a small pond. Now he's a medium-sized fish in a very large pond.
But I don't think he's going to be sitting there waiting to get arrested, is what I'm saying.
You gonna go in and do something about it?
Well, you've already got a magic sword, but one of his lackeys had a magical sword that I had my eye on. But I guess it's Count Vicious's now.
I thought, use swords.
Well, it was more of a gift for my my cleric friend.
Always thinking out for people around you. Nice
I get
of you.
I get a bad rep, but I'm a nice guy.
I'll believe it when I see it.
All right. Well, look, I'll leave you to it. You're obviously enjoying yourself, and you don't need me.
Hey, it's a nice, cool day. No problems. Life is good.
All right. Well, you let me know if you need anything, Tyrus.
Mm-hmm.
All right. See you later.
Later, man.
He is so much nicer than Aldrich. I say to
He's
myself.
also wholly useless.
It's not useless. Well, he didn't offer much help, but
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd be of great use if he wanted to be. All right, well, I guess I'll head back to the tavern.
Okay, Neil. I am going to try and get around this no alchemist issue and look for an herbalist.
There are a few herbalists in town.
All right, I want to ask them about the most potent smelling plant in the swamp. Like something that if you carried around, it would just fucking stink. Something that would basically carry its scent for a good distance. I want to attract this hydra out of the swamp. And I feel like a scent might be a good way to do it. I'll tie it around a sheep or something.
The woman you're speaking to as well. If you're looking for a very potent smelling thing, you want to stay away from the swamp and you want to go find yourself a Lacrota.
I'm specifically trying to hunt down a hydra here. I'm looking for... Hydras tend to live in swamps. I'm looking for something that might draw it out.
The strong smelling swamp thing?
Yes.
I don't head up there myself very often. I just stay around the border. I don't go in. Strong smelling swamp things. I think my brother told me once a story about some... What did he call it? He called it black ground. That kind of bubbled and gave off a putrid smell. It was thick and goopy and sticky.
A putrid smell.
Yeah, I found it
Grows in the swamp.
Yes, he said it was somewhere in the swamp.
Black ground. Do you know what it looks like? How we could identify it?
He said it was this bubbling black earth.
Like tar.
I guess. I didn't see it myself, but perhaps.
All right. Thank you for your time. So I guess off that... Yeah, I don't think that spell is going to help me. The spell I was looking for gives you useful information about a problem at hand, but it's a 4th level spell, so I don't have it. But, all right, so I'm going to... Yeah, I guess with this, I'll just kind of head back to Malachi, and I'll suggest that we use some sort of bait, like a sheep or a cow or something, to try and bait the Hydra out, and we cover it in some swamp shit to kind of try to draw the Hydra out to it.
Yeah, you know, it might work. But I was talking to Tyrus, and he doesn't seem to think there's really much of a problem. He said people are just freaking out over nothing.
You think so?
Well, who knows? I mean, a few footprints, maybe it just wandered out for 5 minutes and left. Maybe it does it all the time.
I don't suppose he's seen it before?
He said he did once in the distance.
Does he know how many heads it has?
He said at least 10.
Fuck.
So, yeah. Plus, I was thinking...
Should we just stop procrastinating and go for Carrick?
If I cast slow at it, then I haven't got Fireball, and vice versa. I mean, I don't know. We could probably fight it. The dogs won't be much use. Darth might be able to help if we, well, you know, we could get him to sort of chop some of the heads off.
Perhaps it's time that we stop procrastinating and go after Carrick. We can always worry about the Hydra later.
Well, Tyrus says that Count Vicious is standing in... Well, he's blockaded.
I heard there's a blockade set up around Anvil. That's why I want to get in there now before Carrick is deposed.
Sure. He's probably sending some men down as well. Maybe we could beat them to it, I suppose.
Sure. We should probably get some sort of word, some sort of letter from the Baroness, so, indicating that we're from Shirebrook and that we're on a quest to stop Carrick. Some sort of letter in that nature.
Well, I'm thinking that maybe... Do you think Carrick would be stupid enough to stand there and try and fight if Vicious sends an army? Maybe we wait for him to try and run and then chase him down.
No, Carrick didn't seem like a moral man, but he also didn't seem like a stupid man. I think he would live to fight another day.
Yeah, so maybe we get close and we wait for this Vicious guy to turn up. Or wait for Carrick to make a run for it. He must know his days are numbered now. And then we, I'm sure, actually, that probably a lot of his mercenaries have probably abandoned him.
It's possible. We could wait, see what's going on around town. Darth could come with us. He could be our scout who travels into Anvil.
Yeah. Hey, let's do it. Let's get a boat out there and see what's going on.
I don't know if we can travel by boat. We might have to go by land.
Through the Ashlands?
I don't think you can travel by boat at this point.
I'm sure they haven't blocked the whole coast. We can just sort of perch up.
Stop in advance.
Yeah.
If we're going to be going anywhere near that blockade, I do think we should get a letter from the Baroness. I'd rather not be mistaken for a mercenary trying to join up with them and executed.
You're probably right, but I don't know if the Baroness is just going to tell us to not bother, given that Vicious is going to be dealing with it soon anyway.
Do you think she would turn down the help?
She might want revenge for what he did to her daughter anyway.
I would very much enjoy personally decapitating him.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm heading back to the keep tomorrow. I'll see if I can see if Aldrich will set me up with the Baroness.
Sure. I could also try to arrange an audience if that doesn't work out. I think my word might carry a little bit more weight. No offense.
Well, some offense taken, but that's fine. Tell you what. Well, you just come with me in the morning tomorrow, and I'll go and speak to Aldrich, and you can go and speak to the Baroness.
All right. That works just fine.
All right.
Okay. Why don't we take our first break, and we'll see you guys on the other side. Bye-bye.